Today is so important because for the first time the Dunstores anti-apartheid strikers have been recognised and a plaque has gone down outside Dunstores in Henry Street.
A very, very important moment to commemorate this very iconic strike when 13 young men and women stood on a picket line for over 2.5 years.
It's been 31 years in the coming. When we started that strike, we knew very little about South African apartheid, but it turned into something very different.
I think it's just very significant that there's a plaque outside Dunstores in Henry Street commemorating and celebrating our struggle when the workers in Duns today, 30 years on, are facing even more struggles with Dunstores. The Irish government had to intercede with our strike, and we were the first Western government to change its policy in relation to South African produce by banning them. And that was a direct result of our strike. It's about time now the government intervenes in this issue about 0-hour contracts and needs to put legislation in place. Don't forget, half the government is supposed to be the Labour Party, and the Labour Party are supposed to represent ordinary workers.
The government are going to have to try and do something because Duns are getting away with it, and that's intimidating staff, as Catherine said.
But 31 years they haven't changed their tactics. Like 31 years ago when we initially went to the management of Duns and told them we were refusing to handle South African goods, they brought us into the office 2 at a time. The next person to go in after me was told that myself and the other person, we were going to work, and it was just divide and conquer really.
Oh, it was.
And they're still using the same tactics today, and by all accounts it's worse now.
It's terrible to think in this day and age that they're able to intimidate workers that way.
Yeah.
But that's bullying.
The Dunstores anti-apartheid strike proves that boycotts work. If you isolate a country will have to sort out their own problems or change their legislation or their laws or their attitudes. And when you look at what's happening in Israel and Gaza, I would boycott Israeli goods. I will not buy them because of what's happening, and I would call on people to use economic sanctions to isolate Israel and boycott Israeli goods. It worked in the 80s against South Africa. It'll work again. Afri got involved very much at the start of the strike, and one of the major turning points in the strike was our invite to meet Bishop Desmond Tutu in London on his way to collect the Nobel Peace Prize, and that was a direct result of Afri's involvement with the strike. And then following on from that, our invite to South Africa for the first anniversary of the strike, which was pivotal in how the strike changed and how the Irish people related to the strike. And it became an international issue when we were held under armed guard for 8 hours and sent back on the same plane.
We were passionate about it, and we were never ever going to handle South African goods until South Africa was free. And as a result of that, we were the first government in Western world to ban South African produce, which had a huge impact on the South African government and the people of South Africa.